Hi all, hello and welcome to Alternatives to the Curb, how real New Yorkers redecorate and landfill. I'm Mackenzie Pitt with Mebel Transforming Furniture, where we are championing a future of furniture that is sustainable and circular as a hub for educational resources, content, and cross-sector collaboration. Mebel has produced Redesign Week as a new track of Refashion Week NYC to explore creative solutions to our massive furniture and design waste problem. We'd like to thank the organizers of Refashion Week NYC, the Sanitation Foundation, and Donate NYC, who are committed to bringing New Yorkers together to pursue a zero waste vision in which style and sustainability go hand in hand. One big aim of our webinar today, whether you're a furniture user, maker, or seller, is to help you practice greater sustainability and circularity through your furniture decisions. Reducing waste is one key principle of circularity, a new economic model which offers a vision of less waste and pollution, keeping products in use and repairing the ecosystem. In this light, today's webinar features 4 different stories of neighbors finding creative ways to keep their sofas, tables, and chairs in use for a long time. To learn more about other key principles of circularity, make sure to preview our upcoming circular glossary on furniture on the Mebel website, which we'll drop a link to in the chat, and click the link to be notified as soon as it launches. So the curb is where furniture too often goes to die, but it doesn't have to. I'm honored to be joined today by 8 incredible New Yorkers who in the next hour will share their real life stories of redecorating solutions, i.e. reusing, refurbishing, reselling, and redesigning. These individuals, small business owners, and community organization leaders have found great refurnishing alternatives that meet their needs for style, affordability, convenience, and concern for the environment, and not adding to the 950 tons of furniture that are thrown out in New York City each day. So let's get started. First up, we're talking to Jamie and Eddie. Just want to make sure you guys are visible. Welcome, guys. So for our first re-solution, we have Eddie and Jamie, who have turned to reusing furniture that has been curbed and otherwise would go to a landfill. Eddie Chang is a longtime admin of the New York's Upper East Side Buy Nothing Facebook group. He is an IT project manager executive by trade and a volunteer group admin by night. He is a Yorkville native and a son of a local small business immigrant family. Jamie is currently a fellow in public affairs at the Coro New York Leadership Center and a recent graduate of UCLA. She is originally from San Diego, which she is currently in right now. So, Jamie, last fall, I understand you recently moved to New York City and you and your roommate were in need of furniture for your apartment on a budget, understandably. So tell us what happened next and a little bit about these tables.
Yeah, so I was telling Mackenzie earlier how I was fangirling because I actually use the Facebook group that Eddie runs, Buy Nothing Upper East Side, and I moved from San Diego to New York City. I live in the Upper East Side right now. Recent graduate, not a lot of money, so when I heard of the Facebook group, I actually was able to get the one in the middle. Someone was really kind, offered up their table, and we brought it, and you could see here we use it for our paper towels. I don't have any counter space in my kitchen, so it's always how I make my food. So I love, love, love that table. And then the other two on the left and the right, I actually got through Facebook Marketplace because again, I'm a broke recent college grad, so definitely was able to get these tables, I believe, for like $20 to $30 each, which was amazing because I didn't want to purchase an expensive table, especially not knowing if I was going to stay in New York long term, and definitely didn't want to contribute to the added waste of pollution and everything.
Yeah, definitely. So having also used marketplace apps, sort of like Facebook Market, how has, once you discovered the Upper East Side Buy Nothing group, how has it changed or been different from your experiences with those marketplaces?
Yeah, I definitely made a huge shift. So I was only on Facebook Marketplace, and then I found out about the buy nothing, and I have a bunch of things I don't use anymore. And also, I'm also in search of apartment, like whether that's pots, pans, anything for my room. I have so many things from the Facebook group. So I shifted from the marketplace to the buy nothing, and I've been able to luckily get and also give. So definitely has changed the way that I shop for things now. Because even if it's just like something small that I need, like sauce or tape, definitely check out that group first before making a purchase. So.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's definitely important to mention that the Buy Nothing does so much more than just furniture. So I'll kick it to Eddie now, who can tell us a little bit more about that and tell us how you got involved with Buy Nothing and then came to become admin of the Upper East Side Buy Nothing group.
Thanks, Mackenzie, and thank you, Jamie, for being a part of the group and sharing that wonderful story. So, yeah, I mean that's why we do what we do. I mean, the community has a million stories like that, and it's really great and really heartwarming to hear that people are really utilizing the group for what it is. I, for one, I've been the admin for the group for about 2 years. We've expanded and we've split and we've created subgroups. I was a member for a while and I was really too shy to really get involved. I wasn't super active. I just kind of like to see what the activity was like. But once I did my first interested in an item that someone was offering and gifting, it just got me going. And now I'm constantly wheeling and dealing items and offering things out and getting things in return. The admin of the group at the time was actually a temporary admin from the West Side, as the original founder of our particular group was just really got too busy. So she needed a temporary admin. That temporary admin was super busy herself with a very large and active group. So she put a call out to ask for assistance, which I raised my hand, not really sure what I was getting into, but I'm glad I did. I mean, the things that we were able to experience as a community as a result has been so rewarding and amazing. I met some incredibly wonderful people. We've saved a buttload of stuff from the landfills, and some of the pictures you're seeing here. You're seeing a picture of Tara, one of our group experts. She's furnished a good chunk, I'd say a sizable chunk of her apartment just from the group. And these are from curb alerts or things that people are posting that they no longer need. So here's an example of a really wonderful bookshelf and a bar table that she's outfitted. She's got incredible taste. So she picks and chooses specifically the things that she needs that'll work with her apartment, and she's able to furnish it. And I mean, I don't really know her story, but I would imagine she's saved some money, but more importantly, she's got some really unique pieces that are made really well. And
Yeah.
for the money that you would buy for something new, you may not be able to afford something as nice as some of the things that people are throwing out, unfortunately. Over
Yeah,
here, you see a picture of
to
yep.
see. I just wanted to also make sure to share a little bit about this particular photo where it looks like a high chair and that you're
Right there,
very
there.
excited for.
It's buried. It's in there. This was actually written on the New York Post a couple of months ago about this sought after high chair that converts into a regular seat. So people tend to really be interested in this particular item. One of our members, Ming, had put out a search, an ISO, an in search of, for an item like this. I think she's got a couple of children, one of which is eyeballing her older sibling's chair, which is that. So she's looking for another one, which it's very expensive. She just didn't feel like it's something worth spending a whole lot of money for that she'd
Can
only
you
use for a
tell me
few
a little
years.
bit
So
about, sorry,
it's
can you
okay.
tell me a little bit more about what an ISO is, and how often you get those?
Yes, we get them by the minute. ISO is in search of. So you could be in search of a rotten banana to make banana bread, or you could be in search of a really fancy high chair that's probably overpriced, but people really want it anyway because it's the cool thing to have. So anyway, just quickly on the high chair, she had posted it. Someone had saw it and mentioned that someone had discarded one. Word kind of got around quickly, and I booked it. I ended a work meeting early, and I ran towards just to hold this thing with
Yeah.
another member who was around the corner, and we literally just waited until she got there, and she picked it up. It was a successful save, and she refurbed it, and we're able to furnish a couple of like glue and things and items that help her refurbish it as well. And that's sort of the byproduct of this effort is community and relationship building. And it was just a fun, kooky little thing, and only your tribe can kind of understand that. So I encourage you to find your tribe and do you, you know. But I'm sorry. Yeah.
Emphasize just like the level of community that you have found in the Upper East Side Buy Nothing group. And tell me a little bit about like some of the additional projects like we're showing here in these slides that some of your community members have transformed. And this image in particular, I'd love to hear you speak about. It was left out from what I understand with a little note in first person,
Yeah.
speaking as the
One of
furniture.
our favorites, and that's a recent one. I'll let you skip back just a couple of slides back to, I guess, yeah, right, the rocking chair. This was a wonderful refurb that someone had done. One of our members, her name is Amanda. She's expecting at the time, didn't want to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a rocker. So someone had posted one, a very beautiful, unique one, and she was able to refurb it and personalize it for her baby. Her baby has now welcomed to our world. So she's a new Buy Nothing member herself, and now she has a personalized rocking chair that's saved and very unique for her baby. So that's that one there, one of our favorites. And then the next one you had jumped over to was the peacock. Now this one was done by Ashley. She actually runs a kind of a separate Facebook group as well, but she's done these magnificent saves where she'll take it and completely transform it. So here you'll see she's taken a mirror with a beautiful frame, like
Yeah,
straight out of like Beauty and the Beast or something, and she just has now a new beautiful artwork that she's integrated to that one. So that's another beautiful one. And then this one, this gave me the Toy Story vibes. I don't know about you, but this was reported by a member, one of our favorite members as well, a group expert who even does walks at night to kind of spot out. And these are like our spotters, right? They're just magnificent pieces that you can rescue and save from the curb. And you can tell it's kind of a console and a nice bookshelf that goes on it. You can tell it's super sturdy, well made, and put out with care, right? It's just not chucked. It's laid nicely, and it had this beautiful note that I'll read to you that's put out there with it in the first person, and it goes, "Hey there, thanks for stopping by to look at me. I'm looking for a new home because I'm not just furniture. I'm a new beginning, a fresh start for some people. At least I was for my previous owner when he purchased me over 10 years ago. Anyway, I don't blame him though for replacing me. All things get replaced. Even once brand new furniture like me, he and I had some fun times. One time he placed a radio on me. I played all sorts of music, jazz, classic rock, and something called industrial. Anyway, here I sit on the street looking for a new home. I'm clean, sturdy, and reliable. My shelves can hold books, awards, paperwork, or a curled up kitty or a small dog. I'm pretty heavy, so you may need two people to move me. Remember, lift with your legs. I hope I find a new home soon because it's damn cold out here." So that's, just a unique thing, but I mean, that's how we want to see some of these furnitures, right? Like people are buying new furniture and it's not necessarily built better. It's made with particle board, it's made with veneers. Some of the things that people are discarding that's older are made better. So you can clean it up, you leave it, keep it as is, or you can refurb it if you have the talent, or have the conversation with your community and build a relationship by asking, how do you refurb it? How do I revarnish this? How do I stain it? It's okay. And, find that safe place where you can kind of speak your mind and find like-minded people that can encourage you to save these things from the trash, because it's doable and you'll be more unique. And, don't be like everyone else and get the same thing that everyone gets. Go out there and be unique, be strange, and find your own sort of uniqueness through your furniture.
Thank you so much, Eddie. And I think that's a great segue into our next interview and just really captures the ethos of this entire panel. So I'd like to thank you both again, and we're going to move on to speak to Rachel and Catherine. Hi guys, welcome. And I understand you both are actually currently in this AMANO Brooklyn store right now.
We are.
We're here.
Lovely. So I'll intro you guys with your bio, of course. So Catherine and Rachel share a mutual love of furniture, which is why when Catherine came into possession, she partnered with her to refurbish the collection and give it new life. Catherine Wells, the owner and founder of AMANO Brooklyn, opened the home decor shop in November 2021. After 20 plus years of working in digital media and e-commerce, she was inspired by Brooklyn's rich and vibrant artist maker communities. And Rachel has had a long, successful career in designing fashion apparel for close to 20 years. In 2020, she left fashion, began studying interior design at Pratt Institute, and launched Double R Design. So since furniture has existed, people have been refurbishing pieces of all kinds to prolong their use. It was commonplace for furniture to start being mass produced today. So the ethos or like the connection to refurbishing is not necessarily as strong as it once was. However, it has become, I just would like to then turn, as a fan of vintage furniture, Catherine, let's go to here. Tell me how you came to acquire this collection of furniture like this couch that you're sitting on, shown here. Yes, please share.
So before COVID, I used to spend a lot of time kind of out at flea market, just looking around, trying to find stuff. And then COVID came, we obviously couldn't do that anymore. And I discovered online auctions. And I knew I was starting to acquire, I was starting to acquire stuff for the store because I knew that eventually COVID would end and I would be able to open this beautiful physical space. So I started finding really interesting pieces of furniture, and I've learned so much about furniture in that process. But basically, that's how I got almost everything here was through these online auctions.
Amazing. And so I just want to point out this couch in particular. This is what it looked like when you first got it off of auction. And I don't know very much about vintage furniture, but I understand Harvey Prober is a big deal. And this is what, on the left side, this is the couch in process of being refurbished at Rachel's studio. And then to the right is the finished product in the very space that you guys are now.
We're actually sitting on it right now.
Yeah, we're sitting on it. Ah. It's so comfortable.
It's so great. It's and it was called the Nuclear Cert. And Harvey Prober made these sofas. He was kind of the master originator of the sectional. You can see this is a really long sectional with an angle to it. And I put that picture in so you could see he did these other angles, and he would always make corresponding tables to go behind them that could make a right angle to the sofa. And the sofa that we're sitting in has its original triangle table.
Yeah.
Right behind us.
It's like a touching story that it's all together.
Because they're really hard to find them intact with the table and both pieces of the sofa.
It's incredible. And there's a lot more. So I'd love to turn to this chair now, which honestly, I think is my favorite of the collection. This is the French wingback chair that some of our attendees might recognize from the image on our website or on the registration page. Catherine, you've remade or refurbished so many different and beautiful pieces. Tell me a bit about the process that you went through here.
Well, the first thing that I ever did, because this is all very new to me. I called Rachel and I discovered her on Instagram
We met over
we met on
Instagram.
Instagram during COVID, and I started following her. I've been following her for a couple of months, I guess. And I was seeing all these cool things, and I saw that she is in Brooklyn and also in the North Fork. So I sort of figured there was some affinity there, like neighbors in Brooklyn. And then finally reached out to her on Instagram, was like, hey, you think you could help me?
Yeah, and so Catherine came over, and we had a phone conversation, and she kind of debriefed me on, her store and what she was planning to do, and that she had all this great furniture. And so I put a fabric presentation for her together for you, and then it just like sparked our relationship from there. Yeah. And this was a piece, this wasn't the first piece we did, but we thought this was so sweet because it had the heart-shaped back, and that it really needed to just come to life. And so the color that we painted the frame, that just like transformed the energy of it. But what we really loved is we found that fabric in Knoll, which is a furniture and textile vendor house, and the fabric is called World Peace.
PIECE.
Yeah. and that just kind of like spoke to us, and we were like, how sweet is that? And it just had an energy to it that really kind of like ignited the chair.
We spent a really, really fun day together going through the D&D building on Lexington Avenue, and just like going in and out of all the different places, and pulling things together, and then either knowing what we were going to do and like wanting to find something, or like finding fabric and going, we're going to find something to do with this fabric.
Right. Like this piece Catherine had from her treasures, her finds, and we knew we wanted to lacquer it.
We knew it was originally like a china cabinet, and we both agreed that it had cocktail cabinet written all over it, and it needed to be kind of reinvented as a cocktail cabinet.
I love the wallpaper
The
addition.
wallpaper is, and you can't really see it, and I don't want to take up too much time, but it is this design house out of London called Timoris Beasties. And they have all these like really cheeky scenes that create this toile effect. Like there's like a guy smoking, and like people just like doing whatever, and it's very kind of like this modernized toile. So it's really fun.
It's very New York too. I love it. I just we won't get the chance, like for the sake of time, to go into every single one, but
it's just about color. I mean, color can just change. And this was one that we thought, the little confetti chair, how do we create something that has life and fun, but is still approachable and not just like, the crazy print or something. And so that is like this little micro pattern. It's called confetti. That really,
that chair has such great lines and such great shapes to it, but you can see in the old version, it was really kind of frumpy and like really needed a lift.
The arms were loose. I mean, but it's so cool.
It really came together. And these beautiful chairs.
That was our very first project.
Yeah, this is the Joseph Rank that brought us together.
So I have a quick question for you guys before we move on. As someone who's on a budget like myself, I love all of your beautiful refurbished designs. Do you maybe have any suggestions for lovers of your style who are on a tighter budget?
Well, I would say, I'll just speak to that question if you don't mind. I mean, there's always ways to find fabrics at a discount. So you can, look for fabric warehouses or outlets to find the fabric, because that drives a lot of the cost. And then, when I started my business, because I redid a piece of furniture that I had taken from my grandma, and I did it myself watching YouTube videos. And that was the very first thing I did. And, it's not perfect, but I fell in love with the process, and the whole transformation of vintage furniture it blew my mind. And it just, seeing my kids in that chair now is a great feeling. So I would say, if you can find the fabric at a discounted price and have a go. See if
And
you can
you
do
have
it.
the space and the tools. Like there are so many things that you can do. Like recovering dining chairs is one of the easiest things that you could possibly do.
Sure.
Go find some inexpensive fabric. And a lot of times these, the auction houses, the online auctions sell fabric rolls for, you can get great deals sometimes if you know what you're looking for.
Or you could also check out Fab Scrap that I know is
That's
Definitely.
even better.
Yeah.
upcycled fabrics.
Sure. They're a great resource.
And I would also say, don't be afraid to mix and match and have, if you're doing dining chairs, do them all different. There's no reason why everything has to match.
Highly agree. Thank you guys again, Catherine and Rachel.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on now to our next pairing, which is an example of reselling furniture with Patricia Marjorie and Mary Lane Townsend of Remix Market NYC. We're highlighting resale options with Mary and Patricia. Specifically, Mary Lane Townsend is the donations coordinator of Remix Market NYC, a creative reuse center and fundraiser for Habitat NYC, and operated by the Junk Luggers. Every day, she and Remix work together to divert as many items as possible from the landfill through resale and donation to NYC nonprofit organizations, educators, and artists. Cut to Patricia, who is a multidisciplinary theater artist working across playwriting, directing, scenic design, and creative strategy. As an artist, she is developing a theater making practice that transcends illustrative storytelling, using theater as a voice for marginalized and oppressed communities. So just for some context, first, I'd love to give some more information or speak more first on Remix Market, which resells furniture that has been acquired from junk hauls. Mary, please tell us some more about how Remix operates and how you guys also donate.
Yeah, so we are the creative reuse arm of Junk Luggers. We're owned by the Junk Luggers, which is a premium service that will haul your junk out, but a lot of the things that are hauled out aren't junk. They're furniture, they're beautiful art, they're all sorts of items that can have a great second life. And our company, that Remix Market and the Junk Luggers, really focuses on keeping things out of the landfill, donation, and so we sell things at Remix, but we also donate things to all of the organizations that were just mentioned. And we try to keep as many things out of the landfill as we can.
Yes, of course. And so cut to Patricia, who tell me a little bit about how you guys connected, and Patricia, how you found Remix Market and now use some of the furniture you received from them.
Well, I met Mary because, well, there's another alternative, and since we're talking about curb alternative, there's another institution called Materials for the Arts, that it's like a big warehouse where they receive a bunch of donations, and they also receive a bunch of non-lucrative business and theaters, most of them like nonprofits, to give back those donations. And so like they're a big warehouse, and they connect us nonprofits with Remix Market. And then when I met Mary, and she became my saver, because since I've met Remix Market, they have like a lot of nice pieces, and sometimes not nice and exactly what I need when I'm doing plays. I'm a props designer, set designer and props designer. And sometimes for shows, I need something very distressed. Like I make this joke that the biggest thing of my job is like, distress this bag, distress this couch, distress this chair. So Remix Market has been helping me since the last probably 7 shows. helping me to find stuff like this picture you're seeing right now. It was the idea of our set designer, our director, is to do the audience as part of the set, and we wanted to put different chairs, every single one different chairs for the audience. That's what we see in this picture. It's still in a tech rehearsal, but you can see the amount of different chairs that Mary and Remix Market and Jug Luggers really helped me to put it together. This is one of the projects we worked together, and I have the lucky to have Remix Market by our side.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just also want to emphasize that, well, I'll turn to Mary now, and Mix does resell. They not all items get resold, which is hence this partnership. So question for Mary, who buys from Remix?
Anyone can buy from Remix. We're open every day, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends. So we're a business. You can come in, you can shop. We have a huge price range of items. So you'll find like secondhand IKEA for pretty cheap. And you'll find like some very vintage or high-end designer items for a lot more. So we have a huge range, and we have things that sell really fast, and that's amazing, and we love that. But then we have things that, you know, are outdated, you might say, or don't have that high resale value, and they work amazingly in a theater production, or it's that leather couch that is so distressed it's going to be really hard to resell. And I saved it for Patricia. That was a great moment, because I was like, I can save this couch. It's going to have a new life in a play. But it would be really hard to sell at our store.
And for me, it will be really hard to buy something new and distress something, and it makes it old. Like it breaks my heart when have times like this that I cannot find a specific piece that we desire, and then we have to distress something. So this couch was a really nice, like a gift that Mary found it for us. And you can see right here, one of a few of our actresses. This is a show called 7 Minutes. And it's like New York Times loved the show. There's like a nice set, and the couch is right there, like being part of this. So I'm super glad to have this partnership.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful way that we can like find and meet each other's needs. Another question before we have to move on. How has Remix connected with other NYC nonprofit educators and artists, and how can other organizations who might need furniture get in touch?
Awesome. We have so much stuff. So every day I am trying to find more people to give away items to, and we've given the list of nonprofits. So if you're a nonprofit, we would love to have you reach out. hello@remixmarket.com. That's kind of an easy email address to remember, but I'll also share it in the chat in a second. But if you're a nonprofit in need of furniture, we have so many office chairs all the time. We always have desks, chairs. You saw Patricia's whole audience featured seated in our chairs. We always have way too many chairs, sofas. So if you're a nonprofit or a theater or an educator in need of items, we really want to give you things. And I would love to be flooded in my inbox with all of you who have organizations like that reaching out. That would be great. I do also want to say we work with the Long Island City Buy Nothing group sometimes, or we do Facebook sort of curb alert posts for the items that we've had in our store for a really long time. So we do give away occasional items for free to keep them out of the landfill. So we do Freebie Friday. I would encourage everyone to follow us on Instagram, which is where we post those freebie specials.
Yes, I think I might partake. Thank you again, Patricia and Mary.
Thank you
Awesome.
for
Okay, so last but not least, we are speaking to Amber of ReDu NYC about this awesome project she did in partnership with Gaia Nomaya, demonstrating our fourth and final re-solution, redesign. Amber worked in film and TV production for 15 years. She saw an innovative way to keep usable materials out of landfills and put her film career aside to start her company, ReDu. ReDu is a design/build company that makes sustainable furniture and builds commercial and residential interiors from 99% reused material. Rescues scraps and dry waste materials from surrounding local businesses and construction sites and transforms these so-called waste materials into items of utility and beauty. Welcome, Amber.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And
Definitely.
thank you to Rebel, by the way. You guys are so amazing because you are amplifying such fun stories, you know, like all these people who are doing all these really creative, amazing things to get this furniture.
It's our pleasure because we get to share such beautiful work. So here we are looking at a customized interior space that ReDu completely did for Gaia Nomaya, which is a wellness and
Sure. You know what, I can just tell you real quick, they're a wellness center. They have a cafe or organic cafe. They have salt rooms and yoga. They have marketplaces and they have an incredible dance floor. They started as a like party promoters but in a very conscious way. And so this is them finally landing in a spot, 7,000 square feet, where they that's how we came together.
amazing. So had the owners of Gaia Nomaya, did they reach out to you after learning about what ReDu does, or did you guys kind of serendipitously come together to start this project?
Yeah, good question. They did reach out to me. They heard about us through some mutual friends and were really excited. And they came to our warehouse in Red Hook, and we had a initial first meeting, and it was obviously a really perfect fit, just because they are super conscious. Everything that they do is about wellness, and it's just an obvious match, right? So if everything we do is from 99% recycled materials, then that was exactly what they kind of wanted to have in their space.
Of course. So tell me a little bit about some of the features I'm seeing here, like this awesome installation on the corner of the bar. I'm so curious.
So that was really a fun project because that's, I wish you had a better version so you can see it from above because it's quite beautiful, and it was a really fun project for us. We used an eco epoxy from Montreal that has, next to zero VOCs, and no, the toxicity is glycine. So and we put it has all reuse, found metal objects from our, all the businesses in our neighborhood. And it's kind of loosely based on something called organite, which is supposed to help take EMFs out of and frequency glycine out of the air. All those glass pieces that you're seeing encaged in the metal frame are recycled glass. So that's like pieces, it's the excess glass. While you're making something, the excess glass that's what happens. It's like a big bulbous, there's actually a name for it, but I forget right now. But anyway, it's, and so that's recycled glass. And we lit it up, and you can see it from above, it's lit up, and it's, and the bar, you can't tell because it's been painted, but it has, it was made out of, there's a place, a cement, they just do everything cement, and they have a certain amount of cement blocks that were broken and they couldn't use. So everything, you know, the border of that is obviously, that was so yeah, the whole bar was made from cement blocks that were going to be thrown out. So that was 19. And then the bar is wood that we got from, you know, secondhand from a place in, I was 19. So the shelving, everything, you know, this entire space, the parts that we did the bathrooms, we did the shelving that you're seeing behind the bar, we did the kitchen. You know, it's a 7,000 square foot space. So it was a lot of work. It was about a year's, but that included also some of the 2020 debacle of like downtime. So, but anyway, that was the only thing. There was a couple things that we couldn't do, you know, reuse, which was the kitchen walls, because there's, you know, in any commercial space, there's always certain regulations that you can't get around. So that was like the one thing in that space that we couldn't do, which was the metal siding in the kitchen.
Understandably. I'm curious, how do you contact or connect with these construction sites or small businesses that have waste? How do you find them, and how do you like know where to go?
You know, it's funny that you say that, because it's actually one of my very favorite parts about this is, you know, you first of all, you see construction sites everywhere, and I haven't really figured out a really systematic way other than just seeing it, but you see it everywhere, sitting there, going and finding the manager, finding out, you know, and getting to know the workers. And once they know about you, they're, you know, what a lot of times they'll do is if they're excavating, if they're tearing down a building, then they will, they'll, you know, we've had people bring truckloads of beams to us, which is very, very cool. But otherwise, you know, I'll go and talk to the workers, find out what they're throwing away. It's pretty obvious now because I have a sense of what it is, you know, and how they package it when they're throwing it away. And knock on doors, you know.
That's incredible.
Creating a relationship. It's like really fun to do that, because then you're interacting with the community and they love that you are taking their waste and they don't have to ship it away.
And at the foundation of all of these connections, we have the community that helped provide and like allow for all of these beautiful connections and relationships to get started. I have one more question for you, Amber. So once you've sort of acquired these quote unquote waste materials, like what is your process of going from conceptualization to construction? Like, do you start with the materials you have, or do you start with an idea?
So we've gone through different stages in our process, but I would say that where we've landed and where we are, our future is really, I think we've kind of like, we're set in what we're going to be doing, because it was, you know, there was no real blueprint for what we were doing before us. So we really had to like trial and error a lot of different ways of making it work. But now we get our scraps. We, for the most part, we will have design meetings with our designers, and we will just figure out how to transform it. And if it's for a project, if it's for a commercial interior, and, you know, as I was saying, you know, every commercial interior, unless we have a kitchen that needs regulations and we can't find the right gauge or something like that, then it's 99% upcycled. So we're either going to implement these scraps that we get into our commercial space or into furniture. And we just had a show uptown on 57th Street, and we did a storefront and a pop-up, and we did everything, made everything from scratch. And that was super fun. What?
Pleasure of getting to see it. It was absolutely amazing, although not at its peak, but was fantastic.
I should have included a picture of it. It was beautiful. And it was super fun to get to show people, you know, that we just take these literally discarded scraps and can and make them from scratch into really, beautiful furniture, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this one.
Looking to completely remake your interior, or you're looking for a custom piece of furniture, you'll end up with something really beautiful and unique, and ultimately preventing more waste going to landfills. And we'll be sure to include the link to REDU in the chat. So yes, thank you, Amber. We're gonna go to a group Q&A now. With all of our speakers. If you are back on with your cameras, thank you. And so just to start off, I'd love to open up the discussion with if any of you guys are currently exploring any new / unknown methods of recycling / upcycling furniture, whether it's just for your personal space or a project you're taking on. What are you guys excited about in terms of all these options?
I'll share a project that I'm really excited about. Sorry to just jump in there, but I have a client and we are refurbishing and redesigning the inside of a VW bus that she has bought. And so I'm so excited about it. It's like so fun. So basically it's a present to herself for her 50th birthday. And she found this vintage bus and is like having the inside gutted, and we are salvaging wood from another VW bus to put inside this one, and then coming up with like a upholstery concept and design scheme and color scheme. Kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah, is there anything else anyone would love to share?
I'm working on finding more people who are redesigning or revamping furniture. Like I imagine, well, so many people on this panel are, and probably a lot of our audience. We would love to have you come here and look at items that don't get sold immediately. We mark those with like a yellow sticker, and they're highly negotiable. So you can get them for very cheap and then do amazing things with them. So I just wanted to mention that.
Incredible. Yeah, I think because of the pandemic, I've also wanting to try some like DIY projects. So I might have to look into that as well.
We don't have a particular project in mind, but we're always trying out new things, I guess, organically as they occur. And one of the biggest problems we have, especially in the city, is, where do you have the space and where do you have the tools to rehab some of these things, right? So what I'm trying to do, we'll see if it's a success or not, but we're trying to basically create a library system where everyone can post things that they can share. And these are largely tools or things that you use rarely or use for a couple of times. You don't need it on a constant basis. So they could be drills, they could be specific screwdrivers and things like that. So if you find a piece that you need some help, you can reach out, you can look to the library and not necessarily have to buy the tools, but you could borrow them and perhaps even some expertise along with that to rehab your own project and get over that fear of, I don't want to spend a lot on stuff and I don't want to fail. Now you can have zero investment, get something free off the curb, borrow tools, make some connections. All you're investing is time, and we'll see.
We have a question in the Q&A that I think really perfectly relates to what you just said, Eddie, from Cynthia. I don't want to mess up your last name. Do you see potential support forthcoming from cities or elsewhere for maker spaces that could help facilitate more of this? There's so much furniture headed to the landfill, and people who would love to adopt.
I agree. In fact, we did a blog recently with the sanitation department around our group, and it's something that I've asked them. I don't have the connections, but if anyone's watching, that what we're looking for is it's one thing to have a distributed library, but as someone had just mentioned, Vanessa, we need the space as well. So if you can, if there's space somewhere, there's so many empty storefronts, if someone can kind of offer that as a potential workshop. I know I have dollies that I lend out, to get furnished from point A to point B, but if you need a space to work somewhere, it'd be great to have all the tools there, to have, a table, bench, and tools for you to do what you need to do. And, I'm sure people will even be able to pay a small fee or something, but that's not the point. The point is, you're not using anything, you're not doing anything in that space anyway. It could effectively be a community center for people to get together, build relationships, and help each other and help, the planet while we're at it.
Yeah. That what brings me to what you guys that was submitted from one of our registrants. How can a furniture bank for people in need of basic furnishings in NYC be created and maintained, such as for people who are refugees or formerly homeless? I'd love to hear if you guys have any thoughts.
I do work with some organizations on a small level who do this. There's some great churches who got lists, I believe, of refugees who are looking for items, and they reach out to me, and we do have somebody from the organization come here to pick up the wish list of furniture. So they'll come to Remix and try to get the items that are requested. So churches are a good place to do that. But I am always looking for more organizations like that too. It's a great question.
Definitely, yeah. And if anyone of our attendees might have some resources they'd love to share or an organization they work with, please feel free to drop that in chat. Another question for all of us who have picked up furniture from the curb, how can we normalize stooping / reclaiming / reusing for a wider community? Specifically for you guys, like what would help what you guys do more prolific?
I think you got to find your tribe. I mean, I've always felt like, this is growing up from an immigrant home, right? My dad would like pick up things off the street, fix it, and then use it. And I felt super weird. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, oh, Dad, don't do that. Like, but it was a necessity. And, I think I realized the value in that. And as an adult, I still found it like hard to do until I found a group where people did the same thing and it was totally cool and it was okay. And you felt, what I want to do is create this safe space where you can have that discussion. Like, I saw a bookshelf. Does anyone want, it needs a little work. Maybe we can get together and fix it up. And that's okay. It's not strange, like you can have like it's like a painting party. You can get together. People are helping each other get it up, 5-floor walk-ups, borrowing dollies from each other and bungees. And it's totally okay. And I think you need to find that group, right? Find that group where you're safe, you can say what you want, and you guys have kind of the same philosophy. And start your grassroots group. If you don't have one in your area, start one. It doesn't have to be buy nothing. It could be whatever it is you want. Just do something, and then that's a start. If anyone did one thing, we'd be a lot better than where we are.
I would say too, though, that as New Yorkers, there's not a lot of stigma for trash picking up the sidewalk. Like, we all do it. And there's really no shame in it. I feel like there's like kind of more of a thing maybe in the suburbs or outside of the city, because you see the problem in New York City is walking by and seeing this amazing thing on the sidewalk and figuring out how the hell am I going to get it home? I have to have it, but I'm on my way to dinner and I'm going to be late and I can't change my whole life to get this chair.
Or I'm gonna put another chair. Like, this is so beautiful. How come I'm gonna leave this in the curb? No, I need this. Do I need this? Where I'm gonna put this? Like, for me, I have no shame. I'm starting to get shame. Was like, my house is too packed. Like I have to get rid of some stuff.
Well, that's our other problem too, right? Is our tiny little apartments.
And that's the beautiful thing. I mean, we've had stuff that's rescued and, you know, it didn't even work out, but they cleaned it up, they made it nice, and someone else took it, and they made it convenient for someone else to take it. And,
Right.
and that's all good, you know. And we've had folks that have posted something and someone is interested, but they're out of town. We've had other people grab it and hold it for them in their hallway or work out something with their super. I mean, again, the byproduct is community. And isn't that a wonderful byproduct to have?
Definitely.
One thing I would love to add is, I don't know if you guys have all heard of Shelby Stuber, but Stuber Shelby has a company where you can call her, and you should look her up on Instagram, Stoober, Stuber. And if you see something that you like, she'll come pick it up and bring it to your home for, I think it's $60, which is super awesome and worth it. So that's one, like, really, it's a great solution. I just love that, because nobody wants, you see that waste, and that's really that pain point is why I started the company. It was just too painful to see all these amazing usable materials going to waste,
Thank you. Thank you guys. Unfortunately, I hate to interrupt this lovely conversation, but we're almost out of time. So I'd just like to summarize some of the fantastic resources that we've shared and methods we've covered here today. In conclusion, we hope you, our attendees, come away from this webinar feeling empowered to explore furniture through these 4 demonstrated re-solutions: reuse, refurbish, resale, and redesign. And in doing so, we can all make an impact to reduce the staggering amount of furniture waste that gets generated in the city, while still meeting our needs for affordability, style, convenience, and concern for the environment. So in closing, I just want to say a big thank you to all of our fantastic speakers today for sharing your stories.
It's 6 o'clock.
And thank you to our sponsors, Refashion Week, Sanitation Foundation, and Donate NYC. Thank you to Mona and August, who are behind the scenes webinar support for this event. If you would like to see a recording of this event, please keep an eye out for 2 post-event emails we will be sending out to all of our attendees and registrants with information, links to all these organizations, and where to watch. We'd really appreciate it if you take 1 to 2 minutes to fill out the evaluation form linked in the chat, so we can continue to improve our programming for our attendees. And if you enjoyed this event, please check out MEBL's upcoming events for Circular City Week next month. And please check out for a sneak peek on our website of the MEBL glossary, which is linked in the chat, and sign up to be notified when it launches. Thank you again, all. And I hope you guys all have a really fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you, MEBL.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Thank you, everyone.